Hey everyone and welcome to the channel. In this video I'll be finding and fixing a vacuum leak somewhere behind the dash in this VX Calais. At the moment the climate control in this Calais is having some issues. The air will only come out of the demisters on the front window. The system that controls where the airflow comes out of is operated by vacuum. And the fact that I can hear a vacuum leak coming from behind the dash is a telltale sign we have an issue. So when the engine's running you can hear the vacuum leak from somewhere under the dash. Have a listen. So I can't really hear it on this side. But on my side, you can hear it under here somewhere. So let's start pulling bits out to find that vacuum leak. No matter what setting the climate control is on, the air always comes out of the dash. Even when it's set to blow on my feet, still only comes out of the dash. So hopefully fixing this vacuum leak will sort that out. So that leak's definitely coming from this area. And here we can see some vacuum lines running back here. So we need to start removing the interior parts to get better access to those vacuum lines. When I pull on this hose, you can hear a difference in the vacuum leak. Have a listen. So to get better access, we're going to start by removing this trim piece here. That can be done by gently pulling down on this side here, and here on the left side. Just like this. Now we have it down, it's time to remove it. We need to look at the left hinge and remove this little pin in here. You can simply push it out like this. Don't lose this pin. And now you can slide this cover out from the right side. Now we want to remove all this trim under here. If you have a Calais or a Berlina, be careful when removing this trim here. This light will be attached to it. All that's holding this trim on here is these plastic screws hidden up under here. So there's one on the left side, and this will be the one on the right side. Now these screws are plastic, and I don't know if it's just me, but for some reason I can never get them to undo normally. I can be trying to loosen these all day and they'll never come out. Of course you always want to try the correct way first, but for me I find it's easier if I just use some pointy nose pliers and pull them out. You'll understand why when I show you how these are held in. See how easy that was? The way these are supposed to work is that this screw will spread this part here open, which will hold this trim up here. But as you can see, they are so easy to push around, you may as well just use pliers. Now we can get the second one out. Don't lose these. Now we can start gently pulling this trim out. Remember what I said about the light? And here we can simply pull it out. Make sure you give it the little twist. And now, that piece of trim is out. And now we can have a much better look at what's going on behind here. Well, there's our problem. Let me start the car one more time. Okay, I've got the car started again. That's definitely the vacuum leak right there. So what I'll do now is cut this damaged section out and reconnect it here. And that should not only fix that hissing noise, but also fix our climate control. Let's disconnect this. This is really difficult doing it one-handed. I have no idea why that's damaged, but it's definitely the issue. So what I've done is I've pulled all the old line out of this little connector here. So now I should simply be able to just put it back together and go from there. So on this little joiner, there's a small side and there's a bigger side. The bigger side goes to here and the smaller side goes to the hose. Now there's no way I can do this one-handed while recording. So with the power of editing, that side's on and now it's reconnected. So let's start the engine and see if we can hear any vacuum leaks. Well, that's a good start. I can't hear any leaking. Let's test the climate controls. And just like that, we have air coming out of where it's supposed to be. The air's set to face, and sure enough, it's blowing straight at me. And now it's set to the feet. Yep, it's coming out the foot vent. So that's fixed. So now all we have to do is put this trim back in. So putting all that trim back in is the exact reverse of how you took it out. So we put in this part here, being careful not to damage any vacuum lines. Don't forget about our little globe. Make sure to turn it so it's locked in place. Now these little clips can go back in. Make sure you pull the screw back so these parts here can close and go through the holes. Then push the screw in so I'll widen that little bit up. So that's one side done, and now the right side. Now we put this bit back in, We start by sliding the right part into this bit here. Then we can slide the pin into the left side. Just like that. Now we can close this back up and gently push the clips back in. And just like that, it's fixed. Not only has the sound of that vacuum leak been fixed, our climate control is fully operational once again. So if for some reason air's only blowing out of your window vent, have a listen for vacuum leaks. Just have a listen out for the hissing sound. Thankfully mine was fairly easy to get to, so it didn't take that long to cut out the damaged part and reconnect it. Now if you're having this issue, hopefully your vacuum line isn't too hard to access. Now with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something new. Please consider liking and subscribing.